Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Garrett Baker, brother in arms, and welcome to another episode of The Tactical Businessman. Today's topic: time. Or we could just say tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. When I first started working as a police officer, I had zero concept of this idea called time, right? How does it work? Like, what are you supposed to do with it? All that kind of stuff. So I just kind of winged it, for lack of a better term. In the police academy, what did they teach me? They taught me how to arrest people. They taught me how to use pepper spray. They taught me how to shoot a gun. They taught me how to drive a car. All of these things, none of which had anything to do with paperwork. Now, why would I say that? Because believe it or not, what do you think a police officer spends most of his time doing? Honestly. Not the cool car chases, not chasing after somebody, not getting in shootouts, not getting in fights. Literally, it's paperwork. We say 5 minutes of fun for 4 hours of paperwork. Like that's about what it equated to. In a typical shift, you would take 2 to 3, we'll call them reports, written reports, and the odds of any of those being fun and exciting was slim to none. Now, I was on a mission to change that, to make them much more fun and exciting. Hence the fact that I never got really good at paperwork. Why? Because this is what I would do, right? There's certain paperwork that we need to do on a daily basis. One of those was a timesheet. It used to be manual, now it's digital. The next thing is we had to make sure that all our equipment was in order. And then we had to do a log, like, what did you do today? All the things that you did today. Where did you spend your time? All of these things. And that had to be done on a daily basis. Well, guess what I didn't want to do? I didn't want to do those things. I wanted to go do the fun things. Like, I wanted to go find the drug dealers, the people with warrants. I wanted to go find the gangsters, all of those things, right? Because those things are exciting. Dealing with paperwork, not so much. So I found myself dreading paperwork, and what I would do is probably what you do, which is I would build up a pile of paperwork, stuff it somewhere, and forget about it until I got warned and reprimanded so many times that I had no other option but to deal with it. And I got really good at this. In fact, there were some shifts that I would take 10 reports, and imagine that over a 4-day period, and then I would stuff it in my mailbox and wait until next week. Oh, I'll deal with it next week. Well, eventually, what do you think happened? Eventually, I got so many reports that I needed to do and so many administrative tasks that had to be completed that I literally started to get grounded. Yes, grounded by my supervisors. They'd be like, hey, I appreciate the hard work you do. I appreciate you taking the bad people off the street. However, you got this stack of paperwork that needs to get done, so how about you stay in until you get it done? Are you serious? I'm a grown-ass man. You can't ground me. But yes, they could. So you would think that I would learn after the first or the second or the third time, but no, that's not the way that I learned. I learned through the School of Hard Knocks multiple times. I would actually receive complaints, that's right, complaints, from the fact that I did not complete my paperwork in a timely manner. So eventually I had to learn this idea of time management. I had to learn how to shortcut things. I had to learn how to make myself more efficient at doing my job. And this took some time, but eventually I started to see a pattern, right? A pattern in the way that things were done. So if somebody had a warrant, there was a pattern. They would be arrested. There's the same paperwork that had to be completed, the same report, that kind of thing. DUIs, the same thing. Drug arrests, the same thing. So what I started to say is, okay, if these reports are all functioning the same, why don't I set up templates to help speed me through the process? In other words, instead of every single time writing, on this date and time, I was driving on this road and I found this vehicle. I pulled it over for this reason. I contacted the driver. I ran him through NCIC and found out that he had a warrant. The warrant was confirmed. I arrested the subject. I towed his vehicle. He was taken to jail. No further information. Instead of doing that every single time, I would say, okay, what can I put in here as something that is never going to change? Well, it was I stopped the person, I ran the person, I arrested the person. Now I'm oversimplifying that, but you get the point. And so I created this template where I would fill in just the date and the time, the violation, the type of the name and personal information on the subject, and the warrant information, and then that was it. And so what it did is it cut my paperwork way down. Or I should say, it cut down the time I was spending on the paperwork way down. The same thing with DUIs. Everybody hates DUIs, but guess what? Cops hate them doubly worse, because not only do they have to deal with the subject who was intoxicated, but then the amount of paperwork that is involved with a DUI is insane. But it could also be formatted into a template. So I started to employ some of these cheat codes. When I would do my daily recap of what happened, I would sit in my car and I would write my recap first from the previous day, knock it out. And then I had the day free to do whatever it was that I wanted to do. So I started to take care of the paperwork right then and there instead of letting it drag on, instead of letting it build up, which allowed me to be more efficient, which allowed me to go out and do the things that I enjoyed doing. Now, what does me filling out police paperwork have to do with you being a better husband or being a better businessman? Well, let's talk about that. I want you to think about your business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, you work for yourself or you work for someone else, whether you're the CEO, upper management, mid-level, it doesn't matter. Think about this for a minute. Every single day there's tasks that need to be completed. The problem that we have is not the amount of tasks that need to be completed, it's the order and the organization of these tasks. See, what I was lacking was any type of order or organization with my tasks, which made me what? Dread it even more and not even want to deal with it, and I would push it off to the side until it had to be dealt with. So think about this right now in your business. There's something that you have to deal with. It could be writing email copy, it could be dealing with customers, it could be a follow-up sequence, it could be any of these number of things when it comes to business. And the reason that you dread it so much is not because it has to be done, but the fact that there is no order to anything that you're doing. Therefore, every time you do it, it feels like you're starting over. Or even if you do have an order, it's not an efficient order. And so this frustrates you, this angers you, this makes you not want to do it. So what can be done? Well, it's all about results. Whether you work for someone else or you work by yourself, it doesn't matter. Business is about results. So how can we structure this so that the focus is on results? Well, I'm going to give you a couple different options that you can use, that I've used in my life to help simplify this process. The first thing you have to do is you have to identify all of the tasks that are involved in a specific action. If you work in real estate, it's writing down everything that needs to be done in a transaction, from acquiring a client to closing a deal, everything that needs to be done. That's the first thing. Why do we need to do that? Because we need to know exactly what needs to be done so that it can get done, right? So you're not going back and going, hey, I don't remember if I did that or not. I don't remember if that needs to be done or not. No, it's literally written down. You know everything that needs to be done and when it needs to be done. The second thing you need to do is group these tasks by similarity. You're going to find some things that haven't been tasked together that should have been. It always happens. What this is going to do is allow you to become more efficient at what you do. So if there's tasks that have to be done at let's say a title company, for example, then you do all the tasks at the title company. If there's tasks that have to be done at the house, you do all the tasks at the house. So you start to group not only the tasks that need to be done, but the location that they need to be done in, cutting down on time. The third thing is you need to write out an order of operations to get them done. Why is this important? Well, there's always an order in which things need to be completed. Be it in real estate, be it in business acquisition, be it in acquiring leads, be it in marketing, sales, systems, fulfillment, it doesn't matter. There's always an order of operations. Now, inside your noggin, you may know it, or you may have a general understanding of it, but if you have it written down, it makes it so much easier that you can just go down, check, 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 getting it all done. Now, just imagine if you did these three things. How different would your business be? How different would your day be? How much more organized, structured, and how much of this precious thing we call time would be deposited back in your account? Would you have free to do the other things you want to do? The second part of this, now this is a part where you can choose to do this or not. The second part of this is now with this organization, this structure, this clear order of operations that you have for every task that needs to be completed. Guess what you can do with these tasks? You get to start to delegate these tasks, or you hire somebody to replace you. Yes, that's right. All you struggling business owners who have been like, I'm super overwhelmed, I don't have enough time to do everything, but at the same time, I don't have enough money to hire somebody. Imagine if you hired somebody who could do the tasks that you do so that you could focus on what you're good at, which is generating leads, which is closing sales, which is, hugging babies and shaking hands or whatever you want to call that. But you're not buried in the weeds of your operation of your business anymore because you've got these tasks laid out, they're in an order, they're super clear, and somebody else can take them over. Because let's be honest, ultimately you don't want to work in your business for the rest of your life. You want to work on your business. What does the next phase of my business look like? How big can I grow it? What direction do I need to go in? All the while, your business is still running because you've hired people to replace the tasks that you initially started doing. Now, how do you determine which tasks you should keep and which tasks you should delegate? Well, here's a rule of thumb. The way I've been able to separate my stuff out right now is I separate it out into money-generating activities and those that don't generate money. Again, back to a real estate transaction. Securing the client, showing them properties, doing open houses. These are money-generating activities. They're going to bring clients to you. They're going to help you close transactions. But making sure that all the paperwork is done, making sure the title's open, making sure that all the documents are secure, all of these things are not money-generating activities. So those are the tasks that you can pass on to someone else. In my case, for example, how is it that I make money? Well, I make money in face-to-face conversations, either virtual or in person, helping people get the results that they want in life, period. But the way that I get those clients is something that is not a money-generating activity. So, producing and editing video, that does not generate money for me. And for the longest time, I wanted control of this until I realized how much time it was taking from me. So I don't want to do it anymore. This podcast, for example, I love doing podcasts. I love sharing information with you guys. I love connecting with you. But it's not necessarily a money-generating activity. Therefore, I've set it up to where I record all of these podcasts and then I share it with an editor who puts them on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube. And so then I don't have to deal with it anymore. The same thing when it comes to fulfillment, right? For some of my programs, I've got digital assets, I've got workbooks, I've got all of these other things that I've now hired somebody to take care of the task for me so that I can focus on the money-generating activities of my business. Now, an easy way to do this is when you have your entire list together, take a red pen and take a green pen. By every money-generating activity, put a green dot. By every non-money-generating activity, put a red dot. And now you'll be able to separate them out into the tasks that you should be focused on and those that you shouldn't. Listen, This applies to your personal life too. There's going to be stuff in your personal life you should be worried about. Yeah, that's right, guys. And stuff that you shouldn't. And so I invite you to take this and say, okay, what are the things that I need to worry about on a daily basis for my family, and what are the ones that I don't? This applies to your body. What are the things that I need to worry about my body on a daily basis, and what are the ones that I don't? For some of you, you're in this meal prepping business, and it's a time-consuming thing. So, all things being equal, what's worth more to you, your time or your money? Because you can pay somebody to meal prep for you, and then that takes care of all the headaches. It takes care of all the time you're worried about what to make and how to make it, and if you packaged it right and all those things, or you're not. So the key here is to create the lifestyle that serves us in our business, in our body, with our families, so that we can spend time where it is that we want to spend it most, with our loved ones, doing the things that we want to do. All right, if you want more information on this, I'd be glad to give it to you. Send me an email, garrett@warriorguardian.com. Also, if you go to the tacticalbusinessman.com, we're going to have a new program that's going to be launching here soon. And it's all built around what? One thing and one thing only. It is, how is it that you, as a man, get the results that you desire out of life? Be it your business, be it your personal life, be it both. But there's a process to get the results that you want. So I've created a program for that. So I invite you to go to thetacticalbusinessman.com. Check it out. All right. As always, I want you guys to stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.